I have eaten a lot of cookies.
Hi, I'm Cassie, a Fed and Fit, and if you're new here, the thing that I enjoy most is helping you get an easier, tastier, more fun dinner on the table that's really going to be a crowd pleaser for you and your family. And today we're focusing on dessert, which is of course a part of dinner, right? We're going to make peanut butter cookies. As we do with cookies, we're going to beat the butter and the sugar together. So I've got this softened butter. I'm going to add this to a nice big bowl. And if you want to do this in your stand mixer, go for it. I'm actually using a hand mixer today because I thought it might just be easier for you to see if I'm using a hand mixer versus my big old stand mixer. So in here I've got my cane sugar, the softened butter, and the brown sugar. And I'm going to beat these for about 30 to 40 seconds until it's all well combined, paste-like, a little creamy. You'll know when you get there. See, it's kind of got a nice little crumbly texture. If I smash it with a spatula is when it gets that paste-like consistency that I'm looking for. Now we're gonna add in the peanut butter, as in the primary ingredient, as it should be. We're making peanut butter cookies, silly. That's why there's so much peanut butter. And now we're gonna beat it again on high until well combined. So it's important to whisk together your dry ingredients just to make sure that everything's really well incorporated before we add it to the rest of the cookie. And this will make for a really even distribution. I've got a cup of flour here. I'm adding a teaspoon of baking powder and then a 1/4 teaspoon. I like to use a Himalayan sea salt. If you're gonna use table salt, which actually is gonna be a little bit saltier, a smaller granule, you can cut that in half and use 1/8 teaspoon of table salt. Do a really quick whisk, nothing too fancy. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add this dry ingredient to the rest of our cookie mix and beat it over medium speed, not too high. Some things to note is that I'm using a gluten-free cup for cup flour here, which works great for this recipe. You can also use regular old all-purpose flour. But if you're using all-purpose flour, be careful, try to not over-mix your dough past the point that it's incorporated. Because what will happen is you'll start to develop the gluten in your dough and it'll make for a tougher cookie. So just some fun things to store in your back pocket. I'm gonna do just a little bit at a time, about half. This is the dough and it's crumbly. You can see that it's supposed to be this crumbly, so don't panic, you did nothing wrong. But you'll notice that I have it in my hand, if I give it a squeeze, it forms a shape. That's how you know you're good to go. I have a cookie scoop here. This is a really large cookie scoop, but it'll be fine. So I'm not gonna pack it in like I would for maybe a little bit smaller cookie scoop. It's crumbly, fell right out. Put it into my hand and just form that into a ball, like so. Does not have to be an exact sphere. Don't worry about it looking perfect because we're going to flatten it anyways. And then this gets dropped right into the sugar and then put it onto the baking sheet. Once we get them all on the baking sheet, then I'll go over with our little crisscross pattern. And we're going to press down one direction and then turn the fork. And what this does is it flattens the cookie and provides this adorable little crisscross shape. But if you might be wondering, why do we do that? Why do peanut butter cookies have that fork crisscross shape? Peanut butter cookies are a nice thick dough. And so if you put this ball into the oven, it would bake like a ball. It wouldn't flatten out like other cookies might. And so the crisscross allows us to press the cookie into the shape, the final shape that we want. And it provides an adorable little pattern while we're at it. They're done, they're perfect, they're cooled. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I personally like a little bit of a crumbly texture peanut butter cookie. That just hits the mark for me. I'd love to know, do you prefer crumbly or chewy? Comment below. And if you like this recipe, be sure to check out our cookie playlist where you will find all of my easy, delicious cookie recipes. And then actually on fedandfit.com, so this is the classic peanut butter cookie, but we have 3 other peanut butter cookie recipes for you waiting there. There's a vegan one, a keto-friendly cookie, and a 3-ingredient, super simple peanut butter cookie recipe. If you like this, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a single video as they come out. Enjoy!